Thank you for clicking on my video. Now, this is a complete off-season plan for the Tennessee Titans. So this is basically going to cover cutting, people re-signing, free agency, 10 days of free agency, plus the 2017 NFL Draft. Um, the only things that are a little bit different is during the draft, I didn't have the opportunity to trade up. I just kind of kept the spots the same that they should be. But for the most part, that everything else is how it came down. Um, One moment while I wipe my eyes. Now, just to kind of give you a background right now. So the current numbers right now for the Tennessee Titans is their player salaries sit at $115 million, $900,000 is on there. So let's just say $116 million. They have carryover from last year, $24 million of carryover. And they still have remaining cap space too. So when I started this particular draft, I had $66 million of cap room, which is fucking ridiculous. So that's kind of what we're working with. We do reserve $5 million for the rookies. And then that's actually already calculated. So add another $5 million on top of that. We're talking $70 million. It's insane amount of money, and you guys are gonna see kind of what I did with it. The simulator that I used did re-sign a couple people that I really, really hoped that I could have had an opportunity to sign, but they just weren't available. And I'll go over that once it does come down to that particular portion of the video. The first thing I want to do is want to talk about who was up for re-signing. So, in particular, we have this list here. You got like Matt Castle, Kendall Wright, Mark Mariani, etc., etc., etc. So I signed about 5 guys and just let the rest walk. I was really disappointed with a lot of people on this list. Some people I actually tried to get, they were stingy mother effers. Let's just say, you offer guys who honestly shouldn't get the deals that you're offering those deals to them, like giving them something good, just because they've been on the team, and you still have that faith in them, and they just think they're worth more. So I just let them walk. So on the list here, I did re-sign Brian Schwenke. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's not that great. He's injury prone, blah blah blah. The reason I signed Brian Schwenke is because he can double up not only as a guard, but he can do center too. So he's kind of like a middle lineman, jack of all trades. He does all the positions in the middle of the offensive line. And I figured that would be really good, especially for versatility. Somebody goes down, he could just pick up right where they left off. So I did pick up Brian Schwenke for that reason. I let Kendall Wright go. I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't. Well, we know in real life he does not want to be part of the team. So that was one of the reasons I let him go. Not only that, but he has not really lived up to expectations. I let Mark Mariani go, and honestly, Mark Mariani's great at kick returns, but to fill a roster spot, there's so many other people that are just available that can do the same thing, and honestly, they're better receivers. So Anthony Fasano got old. I let him go. He's still a good player. He's just kind of getting old, and I'm just kind of making room for people who are young. Here's one that kind of got me mad. Byron Bell, you dislocated your ankle at the beginning of the season, and you weren't even playing all season. You got paid to sit at the bench. I offered you decent money. You're a decent backup tackle. I offered you pretty good money. I offered you what you made this year to do nothing again, essentially. And you didn't take it. You wanted more money, and you didn't even have a chance to prove yourself in a contract year. Bye. Let him walk. Chance Warmack, I let him walk. He wanted way too much money. He's an average guard in the league. I don't think anybody else has anything to say against that. Chance just never lived up to his expectations. I don't think he really even got a chance this year. Maybe he'll turn out to be good. But if he didn't get injured this year, maybe Russ Grimm could have really did something with him. But I just don't see. I don't see the work ethic there. Carl Klug, definitely re-signed Carl Klug. He's injured right now because he got the Achilles injury. But he's just dependable. The guy plays his heart out. He's a good defensive lineman. You can sub him in on offense as well. He's ridiculous. So hell yeah, bring him back. I let Rapati go. Well, Rapati's actually already gone, but for whatever reason he's on here, so I just let him go because he's already gone. Nate Palmer, let your ass go. Um, the let's see here. The David Bass, I re-signed David Bass because we needed that depth, the edge. Sean Spence, I re-signed too. A lot of people probably be like, why'd you do that? It's just for depth. He's not a bad linebacker. He's not a great linebacker, so it is what it is. For whatever reason, they had BW Webb on here. I don't know. I thought we already got rid of him, but whatever. Valentino Blake, you're garbage, dude. You're cut. Like, not resigning you. Not resigning you, man. You get burned too much, man. I'm done with the secondary. Damian Stafford, he proved that he's a good safety to me, or at least worth being on this team. So I did re-sign Damian Stafford. I let Rashad Johnson walk. Pretty much let everybody else walk. A lot of the guys like Bennett, Octacha, or whatever the hell his name is, I let him walk just because I was like, I want some like decent depth at cornerback to be able to pull up if somebody gets hurt. Matthias is just hurt, so he's on injury reserve. I'm just like, you didn't really play. Justin Staples, same way. He's not playing. Just let him walk, Harry Douglas, your time's done, man. Your role as the veteran in the league. I could get a better veteran than you to come in and do exactly what you do, but still play, with better standards than you do. So I let Harry Douglas walk, and by let him walk, I mean I cut him, saved some cap space. After I cut him, I got like an extra like $4 million in cap space, and it was only like $700,000 of dead money. So definitely, definitely worth letting him walk, right? Like I was like, okay, I gotta do what I gotta do. Let me get my list. Basically, when it came down to signing free agents, I was juiced, man. I was getting pumped. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get Alshon. I'm gonna be able to get Alshon, and then I can pick up like an extra defensive guy in the draft. But unfortunately, he was re-signed. Same thing with Eric Berry. I was super juiced. I'm like, yeah, man. Hopefully they don't get the tag on him. They tagged him too. So, man, I just could not get what I wanted, man. Like I really wanted to get some guys to help me with when I did the draft. So that way I had a little bit more flexibility in the draft. But here's basically how it ended up going down. You guys already know I got Damian Stafford, Sean Spence, David Bass, Carl Klug, Brian Schwenke, but I did pick up quite a few guys. I actually ended up re-signing Matt Castle. He didn't retire, I guess, so I re-signed him through free agency, just for a 1 year, as a backup. It's cool that he can continue to help Mariota develop better. So, now here's where it got big. Literally almost every signing from here on out except for one is a defensive signing because I wanted to get some veteran presence. Not really veteran, but like some guys with some experience on them and some names, some guys who can make plays. So Al Woods, I kind of want to like put him on the back burner, and I got a bigger, meaner nose tackle, Dontari Poe. I got him. Just because I want somebody who's going to eat up the middle of the line, like really just eat up the line. And then that could help with the run game, because right now the run game is really, it's two guys that are like stuffing people, and that's Woodyard and Avery Williamson, but they don't really play good coverage. So because they're not playing good coverage, you're sacrificing that run stop, which is wonderful because we have a really good run defense. But you're sacrificing that. So for linebackers, they're not really good at covering. So you're going to give away a lot of passes because of that. So my plan is get somebody who's big in there, bigger than Al Woods, who can eat up that middle section by himself, free up maybe one of the middle linebackers or something for coverage. And that you guys will kind of see where I'm going with that. So I got Dontari Poe. I did bring in Michael Floyd. Now, Michael Floyd, to me, is a number one receiver. He's just got to have that opportunity. But I thought bringing in Michael Floyd would be great, especially since we're losing Kendall Wright. We can kind of shuffle things around. And then that way, I got him as kind of a stopgap. And I'll talk to you a little bit later after I go through the draft about what I mean by that. So I bring in Michael Floyd. Jabal Shard as an edge rusher. We need more edge rushers. We already know that. I think last year Thank God Derek Morgan or Brian Rackbo didn't get hurt like the year before. But I mean, you can't risk people just getting hurt all the time. So we got to have some depth there and have some good depth there. Kevin Dodd's still kind of, his foot thing still kind of impairing him. So we need some depth there. So I did pick him up. As far as the secondary goes, well, let me finish actually with the front seven. So I got Jamie Collins from the Browns. They didn't re-sign him because they're stupid. So I picked up Jamie Collins because he's Jamie Collins. Uh, and then in the secondary, I did pick up Logan Ryan because he's young. He's an interception machine. But I did pick him up to put him opposite of McCourty. I really played with am I going to cut McCourty or not too, because that was running through my head like, do I get rid of McCourty? But at the end of the day, you guys got to realize that McCourty is still a reliable defensive back in the NFL. Even if he's not the best, he can still get the job done. So I didn't want to lose him and then not have the opportunity to replace him. So I kept him. And it's let his contract run out or whatever, but it'll be good to pair Logan Ryan off on the other side. That way have some sort of stability. And we'll go into more of, kind of what happened next here after this. So let me see here. So we got that. As far as the draft goes, okay, what I did is I went ahead and I used, I don't know, you guys are probably familiar with mock drafts, but I used Draft Tech's big board. It was just updated on the 12th. It's the most recent update I could find for draft boards. So I did use that. And here's basically how the draft broke down. So you all know we, as the Tennessee Titans, they have 2 first-round picks, 2 third-round picks, a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th-round pick. So ultimately, you're looking at 7 picks altogether. They're just kind of spread out differently, right? You don't get a 6th or a 2nd, but you're getting doubles in the 1st and 3rd. So it is what it is. In the first round, with the 5th overall pick, I'm bringing in my man Jamal Adams from LSU to help that secondary out, right? So we already got Kevin Byard over there doing his thing. Honestly, he's kind of looking like a young Ed Reed to me. But you put Jamal Adams in there, and now you're looking at some serious damage being dealt in that back, that secondary. I like Jamal Adams. He's, aside from being able to have that coverage, he can come up and stop the run. So I'm all for that. It was kind of hard for me here because it did get to the point where I kind of had to think smart, and I like Jonathan Allen actually did fall to the 5th. And I'm like, man, Jonathan Allen's there? Damn. But then I started thinking, I'm like, all right, man, like the Titans line is not bad. We got Jarrell Casey. We've got, I just picked up Dontari Poe. So we got these big dudes on the line who can really do some damage already. And not to mention we have some mean linebackers too. So in my head, I started thinking like, although he is the best available player at this time, he's not the best available player for what I'm trying to accomplish, right? So I picked up Jamal Adams, and honestly, I think it'll work out. So picked him up first. After that, they simmed to the next pick for us, which was in round 1, pick number 18. And this, man, I was super juiced about this. My man Reuben Foster fell to round 1, pick 18. Can you believe that? That's top 10 talent falling all the way to 18. Probably won't happen in real life, but it happened for me. So I ain't gonna miss out on that. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. I got Dontari Poe to eat up that middle space so I can free up one of those middle linebackers for coverage. Reuben Foster, he can do it all. He's pretty much an all-in-one player. So I can pair him up with Avery Williamson, or even sub Avery out in passing situations, and I can just bring in Reuben Foster to take care of business. So got lucky, got him at round 18, out of Alabama. So after that, I missed the whole second round, which sucks because Titans did trade away their second round draft pick, and it was rough having to watch a lot of names that I really wanted to pick up go by. and kind of bite my tongue and really practice patience there. Because honestly, man, I was looking, I'm like, man, there's a lot of second round, there's a lot of depth in this draft. It's all defense too. And you're going to notice that I did go heavy on defense in both, because honestly, the Titans were moving the ball last year. They needed a couple pieces, but at the end of the day, they didn't need like an entire makeover in the offense. The defense, they need an entire makeover, period. There's a lot of things that could go better there. So that's why I'm heavy on the defense here. Anyway, round 2 goes by. I'm a little depressed because I missed a lot of good names there, but we're just keeping on. So we got the 19th overall pick in round 3. And I'm going to pick up my man, Cameron Sutton out of Tennessee, a local boy for the Tennessee Titans. So, he don't even have to move far. He's already used to the area. Cameron, to me, when I watch Cameron Sutton's his videos, he's got a lot of awareness. He sees what's happening before it happens. He acts on stuff really quick. And I just was like, man, I got to pick him up, because to me, he's top level corner. And I think he's a little underrated for actually what he can do. Obviously, I don't say he's the best in the draft, but he damn sure is definitely up there. So I was happy to see him at that pick. I was like, wow, I was expecting him to go in round 2. Round 3, pick number 36 overall. This is I believe a compensatory. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's our pick from the Rams. I believe. I don't know. One of them is. And this one was really surprising. And this one was kind of tough for me, because at this point I was like, okay, I picked 3 defensive players with my top 3 picks. I need to go offense, because it's like I got to help Marcus out a little bit here. So I went ahead, and this came down to a wide receiver, and I'm like, who's gonna be good? And Cortland Sutton was there, and Zay Jones was there, and I started thinking, like, who do I want to pick? And Zay Jones is great, but I went ahead and got Cortland Sutton, and here's why. So Cortland Sutton, he's a big dude. He gets a lot of comparisons to like Terrell Owens, but like good Terrell Owens, like when he was not like crazy and shit. So with Cortland Sutton, I'm a little worried, because I'm not a little worried, but I took a big gamble here, and I'm going to tell you why. The Titans just got rid of their wide receiver coaches. I don't know who their wide receiver coach is coming in this year, is who that's going to be. If it's some superstar wide receiver coach, man, he's going to take Cortland Sutton and take him to the top. I'm telling you. But that's the gamble, right? Because really, Cortland Sutton's got all the physical talent, all the big man skills. He right now he runs in a system where he doesn't really have to know a lot. He does a very few different routes, and he's that's it. It's kind of like you're asking him to do a lot more. So really, it kind of comes down to coaching. But if he can get coached right, he's going to be a serious threat, in my opinion. So it really it depends. So that was my 3rd round pick. Went ahead and went from there. And I kind of have an offensive mindset now. I'm near the tail end of the draft. There's still going to be some defense here, but a lot of it's more offense, because I wanted to get Marcus some more help, and I wanted to make the right choices. So after Cortland Sutton, after the Sutton picks back-to-back, round 4, pick 18 overall, we're going to go with Kyle Fuller, the center out of Baylor. And the reason for that is because we are a running team, and Kyle Fuller makes holes. So I need a guy who can play center eventually. Maybe groom him. Ben Jones is he's our oldest lineman. I think he's like 27 or something like that. I have to double check. But eventually I want Kyle Fuller to be groomed, so we have a really young, effective line, especially for the run game, and he can make those holes that we're going to need. So he's okay in pass defense too, so it's not like we're sacrificing anything for him. He can do one or the other. So I think if he gets coached by someone like Russ Grimm, obviously he's going to develop into a beast player. He's got a lot of upside. So I went ahead and took him in the 4th round. People are probably going to be like, why did you take a center in the 4th round? It's like, dude, just trust me. So 5th round came along. 5th round came along, and I started thinking, like, what am I missing? And I realized I'm missing a tight end. Oops. So I went ahead and I looked into Michigan State. I got Josiah Price. Not mainly because he can still he can catch a lot, but he's a run blocker. He's a blocker in that offense. So I was like, I'm taking him. We need the guys who can help with the run game, and and can still do what they need to do to get the ball, and that's what he does. So I went ahead and took him. And then round 6, I missed out on. There was nothing there. So round 7 came along, and round 7 was a little tough for me too because it was like, do I go for the beast from the small school or do I go for somebody who's still available, like who dropped? And I went ahead and got Dwayne Thomas out of LSU. He did drop to round 7. He did have an injury, and that's the kind of a gamble too. But after watching him play against Alabama and just come in, get his sacks, just swat passes down, I can't deny his talent. I think he's a little underrated, but he did get, he has that injury too. So that's kind of a gamble too. So him and Cortland Sutton are kind of my gambles this draft. But if they work out, it'll, the sky's the limit. So those are my picks there. And that's basically how it worked out. So I think I did well. I reamped our line. I got a little bit more push up on the line. Really concentrated on the linebackers and the secondary, and got us some good receiving options. So you got Michael Floyd, and you got the new, you got Cortland Sutton too. So tell me what you think in the comments below. This is obviously the first one. I might do more of these for other teams. I just decided to do it for the Titans because they're my team. But I might start, I might do another one for like the Niners or some team that really needs it, like the Browns, like a real challenge, So keep an eye out for those. This is going to be the first video on this channel. And please subscribe. I'm going to do some other videos, some what if kind of videos, or is this person this, or are they the greatest of this, So keep an eye out for those as well. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.